Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for part 3 of the Monday Q&As. So let's knock this one out. I have trouble with large workload on squats. Don't we all? Am I being a bitch? Or should I slowly work up to 5x5 over the course of 2 to 3 weeks? Your problem isn't workload, the problem is that you are too weak. You are not strong enough to do 5 sets of 5 with the weight you're trying to use. So what you need to do, rather than build up to that, if you're running a program that is 5 sets of 5, you need to drop the weight down. You need to use a weight that you are strong enough to complete all 25 reps with in the rep and set scheme. So check your ego at the door, drop the weight down another 10 pounds, and get your 5 sets of 5 in. You don't need to build up to that. Everyone can do 5 sets of 5, even if it's with just the empty bar. Now, if you can't do it with the empty bar, then okay, this you might have to build up to it. But if you can do the empty bar for 5 sets of 5, then you have the work capacity to do 5 sets of 5. So do it and build up weight. But if you're trying to use a weight that's too heavy, you're simply not strong enough to do it. So you have to get stronger, which means you need to drop down to a weight you can do it with and build up from there. All right, next question. What are the pros and cons of deadlifting in a hex bar / trap bar? I assume deadlifting with a barbell is better. I deadlifted with a hex bar and it was way, way easier. Yeah, it is. I get about, if I pull them from the same spot on the floor, I can get about 40 pounds more with the same handle height on a hex bar personally. And the reason for that is that it pulls the lower back out of the movement. And for people who do not compete in powerlifting, I do not recommend the sumo deadlift. I don't know why bodybuilders are sumo deadlifting. I would say the better choice for a strength athlete who isn't suited for the conventional deadlift because he doesn't want to put strain on his lower back, or a bodybuilder who is wanting to also do a deadlift without putting strain on the lower back, so they do sumo, I would recommend a hex bar, or again, the trap bar, whatever you want to call it. And yes, we have one in the dungeon. For them, it would be a better choice, and it is what I would call a hybrid between a squat and a deadlift is what it actually is. It will carry over more to your squat than it will your actual conventional deadlift. It does work more leg, so you get more quad, and even for me, I feel like I get more hamstring out of it than I do on the conventional deadlift, and it removes some of the spinal erectors. So if lower back recovery is an issue for you as a strength athlete, it might be worth your time to do that instead of it. Now, the only issue you run into for those who are trying to bodybuild with it is that you're not developing your spinal erectors to their full extent. It's the same issue you run into if you're using sumo deadlifts as your primary lower back exercise with the hex bar. You're not getting the stimulation that you might want to get those big, thick, massive lower erectors, because it puts less stress on the lower back. And then obviously the other con of it is if you're a competitive power lifter, it won't carry over completely to your competition deadlift because you can't use the hex bar at a meet. All right, next question. Hey Jason, what are your macro percentages looking like during the week and also on your carb up day? I don't track percentages. I couldn't tell you. I did quit my keto. I am doing a slightly more balanced diet, my 6 days a week, and still hitting my massive refeeds. I don't have set macros, honestly. I just shoot for calories. I try to hit, and people are going to go, oh my God, your protein's high. I know my protein's high, but I'm also cutting really hard, and I'm using it for satiation and a thermic effect. So I'm eating around 300 grams of protein a day. And yes, I'm still doing that as a vegetarian. It's not full vegan right now. It's really hard for me to hit those numbers as a full vegan without just drowning myself in pea and soy protein powder. So I'm doing it as a vegetarian. There is definitely some egg whites and stuff in there just for now. And I'll probably go back full vegan later on. So about 300 grams of protein. I'm eating 2,500 to 3,200 calories a day. So that's a very, very big deficit for me. And my days really vary. Some days I just want more fat in my diet, so I eat more peanut butter and almonds and things. And on those days, out of my remaining calories, like half of them will be fat, the other half will be carbs. Other days I just drop the fat rock bottom and eat 50 grams or less of fat and fill the rest with carbs. And I occasionally have a day to where it's just virtually all protein, to where I'm literally consuming nothing but low carb, low fat corn products, giant salads, gigantic piles of salad with soy and pea protein powder. So I have days where I'm eating almost all protein also, and it just varies depending on my satiation and energy. I don't have fixed macros. I don't even believe in fixed macros for anybody who isn't about to step on a bodybuilding or a physique stage or a photo shoot. I think set macros are really silly. You just need to have certain ballpark ranges, hit your calories, hit certain minimum needs. Now my refeed days are massive, and I would say my refeed days, God, my one yesterday was approximately 7,500 calories. I would say around 80% carbs, 75% carbs, maybe 15% protein, about 10% fat. And how do I hit those numbers? Gigantic piles of pasta, rice, and bananas. I literally had, just in dry weight, I had a full kilogram of dry pasta cooked. So that's 2 giant pasta containers, plus a full rice cooker full of rice, bunch of bananas, things like that. And so that's pretty much what my numbers look like right now on my diet. And again, my diet is certainly not for everybody, but it is working. I'm clearly losing fat and gaining muscle. But remember, guys, I am not doing that as a natty. All right, guys, so that's really all I have to say on it today. I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time in part 4.